Hello guys and welcome to Khaz's channel, and today we're going to be hosting the finals of the Lodge Season 1. My name is Keegan. You would have saw me on the last semi-final video. Today I have a special guest joining me. You may know him through the Token Minorities, Danza or Crobat for the win. You can introduce yourself.
Good evening, sports fans. Crobat for the win. Danza here.
Alright, and we're going to be taking you guys through the finals between Khaz. That's why Khaz isn't hosting this video, is because he's actually playing against Phine. So Danza, if you want to go through the teams real quick, we'll kind of get to talking about this matchup we're going to see.
Yeah, so Khaz's team has a Z Tapu Koko, Heatran, a Hawlucha, a Deoxys Speed. That's a notable pick. Savali. What type's he going to be? Who knows? Crocodile. Gothorita. I think I said that right. He's got an Escavalier, a Z Tauros, I honestly don't know what that thing is.
It's like a Pyukumuku or something or other. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not even going to
I just hope he doesn't bring it.
Pronounce that. But it begins with a P, you're right. And I think it's a rock fairy type or something like that. I hope. Anyway, Sceptile, mega-sceptile rather. And then, Phine, aka the Empoleons. They have a Z kyurem-black, a Zeraora, Tangrowth, Scizor, Arcanine, Empoleon, Golbat, a Z Rhyperior. That's pretty cool. We've got a Altaria, mega-altaria, Starmie, and our boy Wobbuffet. Just because he's trying to really impress us here from the Token Minorities channel. Obviously, that's
well. If you look at Phine's team, he's really trying to pander to the GBA. He has Wobbuffet, and he has Empoleon to pander to the MV fans as well. But definitely a very GBA shaped team here.
Oh yeah, he just needs Khaz just needs a Palkia, and he will run through the Empoleon's team, just like against Cybertron. Oops.
No comment. Alright, so talking about the teams, so a few things to note here. Usually Deoxys Speed kind of has two really good functions, either being a really good offensive Life Orb user, it's basically a Scarfer with Life Orb, or it can provide really good hazard support. I think likely we're not going to see the hazard support here, while it probably does do a good job against Kyurem-black, because Scizor and Empoleon do a really good job. I guess, and Starmie as well. I guess even Golbat as well does a really good job of controlling hazards from Phine's team. So we're likely going to see probably a Tapu Koko Deoxys Speed offense combination. Deoxys Speed is a really good check to stuff like kyurem-black specifically. Even mega-altaria to a certain extent as well, depending on previous damage acquired. So I think the key here for Khaz's game, looking at Khaz's side, is to kind of take advantage of Tapu Koko Deoxys Speed offense as a way to kind of neutralize the offensive threats that they're going to naturally offensively recording. It's kind of like a natural kind of offensive threat here. I think that's kind of where I'm expecting this to go from Khaz's side, trying to leverage those two. Probably use Heatran as a form of hazard, and maybe use Gothorita as like a trapper. I don't know. We'll see how that goes.
I will say this, I hope, I don't think Khaz will actually do this, but I really hope to see a mixed Sheer Force Tauros with Fire Blast, maybe Ice Beam, something crazy. That'd be awesome. I'd love it.
Yeah, for sure. I think looking at Phine's side, we'll take a look at his side now and his keys to the matchup. Speed control, he's got probably losing the speed game a little bit here. Obviously Zeraora kind of helps that, but it's likely that he's going to have to lean on Scizor's Bullet Punch here to deal with stuff like Hawlucha, which will likely be Electric Seed, which really will solidify itself against that. Deoxys Speed obviously not going to like to take any bullet punches, and then Tapu Koko to a certain extent. While it's going to be able to, eat at one and maybe throw Hidden Power Fire back, gonna, not have the best of times dealing with this Scizor. Scizor's going to be the key here, I think. For Phine's game, it's going to have the ability to also control the hazards, which will be important for kyurem-black. But overall, I think the key for Phine's game is to make sure he leverages his Scizor as strongly as possible. Make sure it doesn't get trapped by the Gothorita, for example. And make sure he uses that to keep his offensive threats at bay. That's going to be problematic with Hawlucha in particular, as it could use Scizor as a setup opportunity depending on sets, but that's kind of I think that's going to be the key. We'll see how he leverages his Scizor.
I hope Phine doesn't bring a banded Scizor, because if it's locked in the Bullet Punch, Gothorita's Fizzed F and traps it in, that is bad news bears. We do not want to see that. So he has to bring like a Bug Plate or Expert Belt or some kind of Scizor that's or Steel Plate maybe, something like that, and U-turn around. It will be faster than Gothorita, so it will always be able to U-turn out of the ability, what is it called, Arena Trap or whatever it's called. It will always be able to get out if it can change moves. It also is going to need superpower in this game, because if it wants any chance of even touching Heatran with anything at all on a possible switch, that's the only thing that can do it. Also, it might be good against a certain Silvally type. Maybe we'll see I don't think we'll see a Silvally Steel with Heatran, but you never know. He does kind of have issues with Scizor outside of that Heatran, so just maybe we'll see it as well. Otherwise, yeah, you're right that the team's a little bit slow, but Zeraora can be leveraged, the Bullet Punch can be leveraged, Extreme Speed Arcanine can be leveraged, and I really hope I see Wobbuffet in this game. I don't think it'll actually come, but I just want to see it. And Golbat, because it's part of my namesake.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I think overall going in the matchup, I don't know who I would give the edge to. I honestly don't know who won in the regular season between these two, but they were the 1 and 2 seeds, so it's got to be close. But I think overall on the balance, I really like Khaz's offensive setup here. I think Hawlucha is a big key. If he can get rid of mega-altaria, I think Hawlucha kind of cleans through this team pretty quickly. Quickly and easily, I would say. So I think that's going to be probably where I lean. I don't know, Dancer, where you think this is going.
Yeah, I give a slight tilt towards Khaz. So yeah, just because I think he has better speed tiers on this team, better coverage in certain areas. I bet he's prepped for so many different scenarios, whether it be Z kyurem-black with Z Hail, just to boost its speed late game. He probably has superpower Deoxys speed or something like that just to break it, or low kick or whatever is more powerful. I'm sure he's planned for all those kinds of things. He just gets that kind of coverage. I think just having Deoxys speed in your team with that coverage is just an amazing, amazing thing. That's why I would give him a slight edge, but there are definitely many ways that Phine could come at this game as well.
For sure. Alright, so I think that's enough preview. We're going to get into the game real quick. Got my OBS screen region all perfectly lined up. So we're going to get into the game here. As you can see on screen currently, we'll start with Khaz's side. He's got a Scavalier, Silvally. I can never tell what the Silvallis are. I don't know, Tanza, if you can tell what this is.
No, you can't. I don't think you can tell in preview.
That makes sense. Heatran, Gothorita, Deoxys-S, Tapu Koko, no Hawlucha. We'll take a note of that while we go through. Kyurem-black, Zeraora, mega-altaria, Arcanine, Tangrowth, and Rhyperior. Basically, I think the team makes sense that we would expect. Both of these players, eschewing kind of two mons that we thought would be really important in Scizor and Hawlucha in this game. So they're both taking really interesting approaches, ones that we weren't predicting off the offset. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see here. I think I would kind of give that benefit to Khaz, but Phine has shown, especially in a semi-finals game, to have really interesting ways of approaching these offensive setups. So I'm curious to see how he'll take it in this game.
I think we're seeing some pretty realistic teams. I know I said I wanted to see a few things that were kind of off the wall. I mean, that's just how I am. I like to see fun things. But realistically, I didn't expect any of that. And these are two serious competitors. These are two very serious-looking teams. Unless we see Specs Rhyperior coming up in this game, I have no reason to believe that this isn't going to be a good game.
Yeah, I'm super excited for this. I know both these players beat me in the regular season, so definitely two strong players. But we'll see how this goes out. Predicted leads here: Deoxys speed, It's kind of the easy lead for Khaz. Tapu Koko as well.
Yeah, I mean,
gets the terrain up early and gets a U-turn off, but... So I think 2 solid leads there. We see a Silvally ground actually come in here, which is interesting. Probably a Zeraora check, pretty easy.
That is actually a very good lead against a Rhyperior. Rhyperior's not going to really want to stay in because it's saying Silvally gets Surf, and I don't know if he might have it considering there's an Arcanine and there.
I think it would make sense to bring Surf. I think in the last game we saw that I commentated on between Phine and Bronson. We saw Rhyperior be a really big part of Phine's game plan in terms of neutralizing the offense, so I think we could expect to see something like that. He elects to Saiyan and trap it and go for the Earthquake, so that's a lot of damage. Khaz trying to take it using Autumn here, definitely whipped in using that as the name, but trying to trap this this Rhyperior, and even a -1 Earthquake is going to do 53%.
Okay, so so 2 things. It's either specially defensive Gothorita or he's choice banned. I'm just guessing. I can't. I don't have damage calcs in front of me to check, but that just seems like too much damage for an Eviolite physically defensive mon. So I think it's one or the other.
He doesn't have leftovers, so it's not a leftovers mistake. So I'm definitely thinking this is likely choice banned, which means Phine has once again used his Rhyperior super effectively in neutralizing this Gothorita. So this Gothorita is going to have a real hard time being able to switch in to another threat and try to trap it to neutralize it. It's going to have to come in for free and then try to set up kind of its Gothorita game plan from there. We don't obviously know what type of Gothorita this is, whether this is Calm Mind Rest, or if this is just kind of Toxic Rest. Kind of wearing
there's
down.
Rest somewhere on there. He has 2 plays. He can go back to Silvally. He can go back to Silvally and then Parting Shot again, or use a coverage move, I guess. Or he could maybe try to go to Escavalier, depending on how well Escavalier takes an Earthquake. Maybe it's probably a 3-hit KO. Oh, he just lets Gothorita go down. Okay.
So I guess Gothorita likely maybe then not as important of a mon for Khaz's setup. Probably not what he would hope for, but
That's
there's
amazing.
still some good opportunity. Khaz likely has a good offensive check for this. Silvally ground likely good in this spot, so likely we'll see him go back into that. I'm not sure what he was expecting with Gothorita there. Maybe he was expecting to be able to take this Earthquake, but I'm not really sure where that was going. I'm curious to see what Khaz will say after the fact with that. I think he was expecting this to be more defensive Rhyperior and to kind of take advantage of it. And maybe, wasn't expecting the offense. So we go for the Toxic here. This is be another Earthquake. He's hitting straight 53% on these Earthquakes right here. As we see another Earthquake come down, and Phine is really using this Rhyperior well. I don't know if it's in terms of well, or is he just hitting these predictions perfectly here, as this Earthquake is going to take 53% off the Silvally ground.
I mean, he might have multi-attack. Probably does, actually. But I don't think
it looks like Khaz has clicked cancel on this setup. So it looks like he took some damage he wasn't exactly planning for. So maybe we're seeing Khaz make a few mistakes here. Not really sure how that'll play out for him. But he is in a Escavalier now. And he does have, a reparable situation with his Silvally ground at this point. But Escavalier is in now. Likely, the Arcanine is the easy play here. Intimidate. We're going to see a knockoff, losing a Life Orb, so really offensive team here from Phine, using kind of offensive Arcanine and likely an offensive Rhyperior set, which is pretty interesting. We're going to see a Bulldoze here back into the Silvally ground, and at this point, man, the HP on this thing is so low that I'm not really sure what to expect.
I think he sacks it. I don't think that there's anything that wants to switch into this thing. Maybe Heatran, but after Bulldoze, I don't think so. There's no way.
He could go in and get the Flash Fire boost and try to, prick it around, but then coming just back into this, he's lost more HP and not really accomplished anything, so he likely does have to sack this off.
Unless he's
Khaz is really behind now at this point. Even Scartran at that point, you're not killing from 75%, so you're just going to lose Scartran, which you probably need to break through the rest of this team at some point.
I don't know. I think Phine might be the front runner right now. I think it's tough to say otherwise.
Yeah, he's definitely the front runner in this game. I think Deoxys Speed and Tapu Koko do, combine well, and we'll be able to, hopefully, potentially bring Khaz back into this game. But right now it is looking, not the
Interesting
best.
choice.
Toxic here on Tangrowth is going to be key here. That's going to allow this Tangrowth, him to get, a little bit of extra damage on this Tangrowth over time.
Could that Arcanine have been locked
and also,
in
make it a little easier to kill. The Arcanine wasn't. It got knocked off on the Life Orb. So it was no item. So maybe he just doesn't.
Right there, but I wasn't sure why he would make that switch.
Maybe, yeah. He could, have some concern with the Calyx on being able to kill. Even though Bulldoze did 20%, he might, be concerned on Calyx, which is fair enough. So Giga Drain comes out here.
Tough.
Obviously on Heat Rain's going to do nothing at all.
I don't know. I feel like a slip up like that, and now suddenly.
So right here, we're going to see an Earthquake come out. Kind of on a -1 here. The Shuka Berry is going to eat up a lot of damage here. And it's going to be a Flash Cannon. We're not going to see kind of a crazy amount of damage come out. Likely predicting that Rhyperior to come back in. But what likely is going to happen here is Khaz is going to have to go for Flash Cannon again. It's so likely here at this point that Phine, wants a Saiyan to predict that Flash Cannon. Because it's really difficult to justify the second turn going for the fire move, especially after losing your Shuka Berry here. So I think it's likely we're going to see him. Man, it's really tough. These turns after you pop your berry are really difficult to navigate in terms of logically thinking.
I think Khaz is just overthinking everything right now, and that's a problem. I thought he had such a good predicament, where he needed something to go in his favor, and then by over-predicting right here, he had a problem with that. Now he's in a situation where you're right. He lost his berry, he has to make a play, and I think he might have lost that advantage. And he knows
I'm not sure if it's necessarily a bad thing. Like he made a wrong play. It's kind of a 50-50 that he had to get right, and I think at the end of the day, it's a super justifiable play. So right here, getting up rocks is super important. So right here, it doesn't look like there's a great defogger on Phine's team, so getting up the rocks is super important. And Bulldoze here is going to put the Silvally ground in range. So we're likely going to have to see a drop here. As we do see the knockout here, Phine takes up a 6-4 lead. Losing Gothorita, which was likely only a trapper in this game, and Silvally ground, which is, was going to be a big, defensive, tool. But unfortunately, it appears that a misclick and a cancel not working, has, put a little bit too much damage on Silvally ground to really get, really make some ground, in this game.
That is one thing, though. I still won't count Khaz out yet, just because Deoxys Speed and Tapu Koko with rocks on that side of the field. Look how many rocks weaknesses there are, and mega-altaria is not mega'd yet. So that's 25 chipped off of half of his team. And if he just sets up with, say he's Calm Mind, Deoxys Speed, that'd be amazing. He could just win.
That is very likely. The problem I see with that is I don't know if if Deoxys Speed can realistically run enough coverage to knock out everything at the ranges they're at. I think like you're going to have trouble getting through right here.
Psychic at +1 after rocks for some of these mons could do it.
Yeah. That's true. I think Rhyperior is going to be the main problem in terms of, thwarting that plan. But I think if he gets a little bit more damage on that, that's possible. As well as I don't think Arcanine's in range here from, unboosted Deoxys Speed, which means he can stay in and just kill this. As Deoxys Speed, I don't think we can see the stats, but if we look at its, you look at its defense, it is 90, 50 HP. So it's not the best, but it could be better. So let's see what the setup here. He goes for the Psychic. I guess I was just wrong in terms of my analysis on the HP. So +1 would have done a lot. So right here, we're going to see Rhyperior go down. And this is big. This opens up, this is going to be big. This opens up Tapu Koko actually pretty well. So this is going to be one of his best Tapu Koko answers.
Yeah, I'm surprised he just let Rhyperior go like that. I feel like letting go of, say, Tangrowth probably would have been better at this point, because, everything on the other team hits it super effectively, or probably can. I know Deoxys might not have a fire move or signal beam or something like that. But it doesn't matter. It's still probably the weakest link in the team, and yet Rhyperior can still take on possibly Tapu Koko, depending on what coverage it brings. It'll probably have Grass Knot, but you never know. Possibly the Rhyperior could probably take one hit, even though it's a big physical tank and has solid rock. It probably can take one Iron Head and do big damage again. So who knows?
There was a likeliness that the Rhyperior was going to be able to check both Heatran and Tapu Koko. Not, super effectively, but there was a good chance that they would be able to be checked by the Rhyperior. So it is a loss, but likely Phine has done it for a reason. I think he was probably planning for this. And I would expect maybe Zeraora to be Scarfed. I'm assuming Scarf Zeraora will be able to outspeed Deoxys.
Oh, yeah.
I think Zeraora's speed is that fast. I know, Dan, so you have used Zeraora before. You have 143 speed, unreal quick. We'll be able to outspeed. So that'll likely, I expect if, he has a switch and he brings in kyurem-black. So
This is an
interesting
interesting
here.
one.
So there's two ways this can go. This could be superpower on Deoxys speed, and we can see what his investment is, and it likely might not matter.
All right, I'm going to give you some
depending
intel.
on the set.
I remember when I went against kyurem-black with a Deoxys speed, that I can't remember the exact investment, but I think it was like around max attack, low kick, or superpower. I think both are about the same because I think both are 120 base power. I think it's a roll to kill after rocks.
Okay.
And now,
well, it looks like
roll.
Khaz doesn't have it, so it looks like he's majority special, or he wasn't confident in the calc. So this is interesting. This gets a free switch into Tapu Koko here, as the Scavalier takes the outrage, and this is going to allow Tapu Koko to come in.
Obvious switch into Tapu Koko.
Yeah. But I mean, Phine kind of had to realize that was coming, so he is confused.
He would be the worst player on the planet.
Kind of stealing my my Tapu Koko nickname there, though. A little annoyed on that.
Ooh.
But right here, so there's a few interesting things. Dazzling Gleam likely it won't kill. It has a chance to kill, but there's quite a few set configurations and computations that result in it not killing. So it's likely that Khaz will probably want to go for Dazzling Gleam anyway. There's not really a loss. You could see Tank Growth come in. Tank Growth and Jin just get Regenerator, lose HP and toxic damage, and basically just lose all the Regenerator it got back. So that's probably, going to be a net neutral play for Khaz. Net neutrals up for Khaz anyway. Which means he could just come back into a Scavalier on the Tank Growth, pressure it out, likely see a double there into something is likely where I see this going, unless he stays in here with kyurem-black.
You know what I see as a possible
damage.
You know what I see as a possible problem though in the terrain, a Scarf Zeraora. If there is just some chip on this Tapu Koko, I bet from a certain point, Scarf Thunderbolt or Scarf Plasma Fist, even worse, probably KOs almost everything on this team. That is going to be in the terrain. Because Heatran is at 72%. It might be able to live one, maybe. Deoxys probably won't live.
Tapu Koko's defenses aren't too pitiful, especially at 100%. I wouldn't put it past it being able to live.
But what does Tapu Koko
I think
really
a little bit
KO
of
back with? I mean, Dazzling Gleam isn't going to do a whole lot back, or at least it's not going to KO. Definitely not. I don't know
it's certainly not doing 80. It's certainly not doing 88%.
I mean, maybe it'll 2-hit KO after rocks, but that'd be the best you can get. And I bet terrain boosted Plasma Fists probably 2-hit KOs Koko, or pretty close.
Oh yeah, 100%. I wouldn't be surprised in that at all. So it's looking here. So I think the two ways that this game can change is that the win cons. I think at this point for Phine is clearly Zeraora. As right here we see that Tank Growth play as we predicted. Not going for the Dazzling Gleam, so he's going to get the benefit of the Regenerator here to get this thing back up a little bit of health. But likely Khaz is going to win through Deoxys speed at some point, or Zeraora will come in clean. I think most likely the way this game is playing out, Zeraora is likely going to be the most obvious, as if Phine has the opportunities to deal with Deoxys speed, he's going to be able to force that scenario to happen. As Scavalier is very low on HP, Heatran doesn't have many opportunities to come in here now that Shucka Berry is gone. So he's going to really be able to force out that Deoxys speed and that Tapu Koko. So he's going to get those scenarios that he wants pretty soon, where he's going to be able to force his checks to come in and Khaz, to answer some tough questions on how he wants to play this end game.
It'd be a risk.
I think
with
it's a
Heatran coming in
certainly a
possibly,
possibility.
but I could see it happen. Ooh, just goes for the Earth.
Yeah, 100%. It looks like he's just going to go for the Earthquake. So he's going to lose the Assault Vest. So this is Assault Vest Tangrowth.
Over predictions.
Look, and right here, he's going to lose a Scavalier.
I really want to see Khaz just go for that Mega Horn. That's my advice to him right now. I know he can't hear me, but maybe if I scream louder, he'll hear me wherever he is in the world right now. But I just think he needs to not over-predict as much. I would have liked to have seen the Tangrowth gone.
I think right here, he's still navigated to a really good spot, because now he gets to bring in Deoxys speed, and something kind of has to drop here. And it's likely going to be Tangrowth just has to bite the bullet here.
Yeah, there's no reason to keep Tangrowth around. There's zero
I
reason.
think going for a Mega Horn there, what it would have done is got him a free hit on something else, which would be nice, but I don't know how much of an impact that'll have at the end of the game in terms of if Khaz is able to win. I think if he's going to be able to pick off the rest of this team, I think this Tangrowth knockout is kind of inconsequential. It allows him to kind of cover
You know
his
what it would have
bases a
done,
little
though?
more.
He would have had to go into something to knock out the Escavalier. And if he lets Escavalier go down, that's fine. And he can pick which Mon he wants to go into. It would have given him the momentum. Now, if he does have a Scarf, what's it called? The Scarf. Zeraora. He can go into it right now. Or even Altaria is not bad if he doesn't have a Scarf Zeraora. Altaria can live any one hit from this thing. So, you know, there's that. One of those two is probably coming in. It just depends. If he's
That's for
Scarf,
sure.
that's why he's going into Zeraora.
Yeah. My thoughts in this situation are that it's likely that Phine's game plan doesn't really hinge on that Tangrowth and the extra hit. He could likely just throw Arcanine away or something and still kind of get in the same spot. So I don't think at the end of the day it's really hurting Khaz. I think he's going to win the same subset of games and lose the same subset of games. It just covers a few extra cases where he potentially switches out. So I think that makes sense. And we'll see if that's, in his commentary, if that's how Khaz is
So he's
thinking.
probably not Scarf. One other thing, too, don't forget Arcanine gets extreme speed. So if he just even gets any chip, Life Orb plus chip on this Deoxys, Deoxys is gone. And then Heatran goes down to a Bulldoze, because I'm assuming Arcanine will outspeed. I don't think he was Scarf Heatran. I think he set up Rocks, so there's no way. So this is a tough one. For Khaz.
And he was Shucka Heatran. We saw the Shuckaberry get popped earlier.
Yeah.
As well as this is a Life Orb, or it was a Life Orb that got knocked off on the Arcanine earlier, so it's likely going to have extreme speed as a way to kind of deal with this Deoxys speed problem, as it was probably trying to leverage that Life Orb just to get a little bit extra damage to make those calcs as favorable as possible.
I think it would take a choke on Phine's part to lose this game. Or he doesn't have extreme speed for whatever reason. One of those two things. And honestly, that would be a choke in prep if you don't have extreme speed versus a Deoxys speed.
Yeah, that's definitely for sure. But I think, we'll see, reasonable prep here. So we get a Mega Evolution, a Roost. Interesting that he goes for the Roost. I think that was a very good, that was a very safe play. I think the chances Khaz stays in are very, very low. At this point, we're going to see a Flash Cannon come out here. And the Defog. So the rocks are cleared. That's not going to matter, I think, too much in this scenario. I think both Arcanine and kyurem-black have suffered their damage from rocks. And now, especially with mega-altaria being at its Mega Evolution, it's not going to care about rocks. Rocks gets back up,
gets Arcanine in
which
safely.
once again still helps.
Yeah, it gets Arcanine in safely. Arcanine, so Deoxys speed comes in here, takes a Bulldoze, possibly. Then it does still outspeed, but extreme speed might KO right after. After Life Orb recoil and other stuff, so who knows? That might be a play. If Tapu Koko comes in, I'm not sure what his speed tier is right now. I don't know what his speed is, but it's possible if he is, depending on his Koko set, he could outspeed after. I think, what is Arcanine? Base 90, base 80, 85, something like that.
Yeah. So I think interesting how this played out. And this is playing into Khaz's favor. The defog there, I think, likely doesn't have a huge effect on the game in a while. This is going to live here. We're going to see a Magma Storm, which is going to put a good amount of damage here on this Arcanine. Is that now he's lost a lot of damage on Arcanine and on mega-altaria. And if he had Earthquake, it probably made sense to go for Earthquake instead of defog. As he's taken a lot more damage on most of his mons, as we see another Morning Sun there. Is he's going to get the Spit F drop on the Flash Cannon. put him down to 50% just about. So this is an interesting setup in terms of Deoxys speed. It's now the entire team is virtually in range for a Coco plus Deoxys speed sweep. A lot of it's going to bank on what this Zeraora is doing and how Khaz can play around it. But Tapu Koko, in theory, can put through a lot of the work to set up this Deoxys speed to sweep if this happens to not be Choice Scarf. So it looks like Khaz has played this into a situation that's good for him.
Ooh. This last minute Heatran stuff might be Khaz's saving grace. This might have honestly turned the game around. Frankly, if he had Earthquake on that Altaria, which I thought he would, but if he had Earthquake, I think that was the better play than Defog.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that.
That might have been a choke if he didn't have Earthquake.
I think what it does is it gives him too much time with his Heatran to get damage on the Arcanine. Because we know it's dropping to Deoxys speed either way, but putting it in potential range of Tapu Koko and opening up more opportunities for Khaz to maneuver himself into a sweep.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but
can only be bad,
which I don't think he is.
For Phine. And now with the spit out drop,
what can he do to take out Deoxys now? Like, his mega-altaria is so low. What's it called? Kyurem-black dies to a low kick at 50%. And Arcanine's this low.
Even to Psychic, potentially, depending on the set,
yeah,
he's going to drop down, to about like 40, mid-40s.
He needs to rely on Life Orb recoil and extreme speed, and I think he let Arcanine get too low. I think not going for Earthquake. That was what I assumed when I had said I think it would take a choke in prep or a choke. Not having Earthquake was the choke in prep.
Here comes the extreme speed from Arcanine. Just get a little bit of chip on this Tapu Koko. So now we're in a really interesting spot, and it looks like there's a potential. So this could still be Scarf Zeraora, and I think Scarf Zeraora still has the potential to pull this out. The terrain is up.
That's the one wild card. If he is Scarf Zeraora, everything I said goes out the window. But I'm kind of feeling like he doesn't, based on the fact that he didn't bring it in that first time. But maybe he was saving it, and he just really wanted to.
And I mean, it's very likely he could also be trying to play for this end game and trying to conceal his Scarf as much as possible, because that's a really, really strong way to play. Your Scarfers is trying to conceal the Scarf as much as possible and bringing in mega-altaria earlier instead of Zeraora as your offensive threat kind of helps sell the case that you aren't Scarf Zeraora and allows the game to kind of develop into this point, which I think if Phine played it really well, and it's going to work out really great for him here.
I think so. I honestly, okay, so I'm going to assume Khaz has Dazzling Gleam. Dazzling Gleam KOs kyurem-black and KOs mega-altaria from that range it's at. Yes, Zeraora could probably lift one hit. And that's why is he not going into it? I think he has to. I think that's the only thing he can go into. I think Zeraora is at 100%. Yeah, it is. So it'll be just basically at rocks. That's, I think, the only thing he can do. I don't see why he doesn't click it.
And there's a decent chance that I think Khaz could be Z-move here. Oh, it's leftovers. Never mind. It has leftovers.
Z and leftovers. This is new meta.
To be fair, you thought the Heatran was Scarf Succuberry, so I don't want to hear it from you.
I'm not on a soapbox here. I've made exactly 72 mistakes in my whole life, and that was one of them.
There you go. I'm glad someone's keeping count. So I think Zeraora has to come in here. Knowing Khaz's luck, he might get crit here, and me calling it out means it's probably going to happen now, and he's going to edit this video and get really upset with me. But we'll see. I don't know. There could be another way out. I don't think any of these mons get any sort of priority. Off the top of my head, I know mega-altaria definitely does not, and kyurem-black doesn't. Otherwise, kyurem-black would be broken.
It would be
otherwise, now it's just medium.
Zeraora might get quick attack, but that'd be really stupid priority to have. I don't even know if it gets quick attack, but even if it did, it would not save him.
No. So I'm really not liking how this is taking so long. Come on, man, let's go. We've analyzed this play more than we probably should. All right. I thought a play was made, but someone just joined the lobby.
Ugh, it's annoying, dude.
So yeah, I guess it's just based around this Zeraora right here, and I don't know what else there is to say about this. It's just if it's Scarf, it's Scarf.
If it's Scarf,
If it's not Scarf,
this game could be his. If it's not Scarf, it probably is not his. Is my guess, unless something insane happens, like we see an agility Zeraora popping out, or I don't even think he gets agility, but I'm just saying.
And even if it does, it's gonna just get 2-hit KO.
Or like Solic Berry. Imagine if we see a Solic Berry Zeraora.
Jeez, that'd be savage. That's low key. But like, can you even get into Salic range after one Dazzling Gleam? Probably not. Unless you're like putting negative IV, like if you're going down IVs in a negative nature. That's like Galaxy Brain. The problem is I don't know if that's like good against like the average game scenario. It's like good for this one scenario, but I don't know if like average game scenario that's gonna work out.
See, okay, so what I think was the problem where Phine went wrong in this game, not taking out Heatran and not keeping his Arcanine healthy, because Arcanine would have been able to check. Probably go for like Flare Blitz or something to do big damage.
And those are kind of consequences of each other.
Is he just
in the sense
seeding
that
the game, or is he
one
banking
kind of
on
led
not
to
having
the other?
Dazzling Gleam? Why? I don't get it.
Right, so he checks for Dazzling Gleam.
I don't get that play.
Which is
Why?
Interesting.
This just makes it harder for you to 2-hit KO Tapu Koko.
Yeah, that gives him like an extra leftovers hit that just didn't need to happen.
I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Plasma Fist, or he's some weird set, or maybe whatever his best electric type move or his best move doesn't 2-hit KO Koko, and maybe he's just seeing the writing on the wall.
Which it probably doesn't. I wouldn't expect it to at this point, but
I mean, maybe it's a bulky Koko, maybe.
Which is, well, it does have leftovers, so we would expect it to have some sort of. We expect it to have some sort of HP, at least special defense likely as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little shocked. I think that I don't know what his sets were, what Phine's sets were, but I think either. Nice, there's thunder out right now. That's fun.
We get the live thunder and lightning.
It's the electric terrain. It's activated outside my home.
Yeah,
oh no!
Tapu Koko is raining down in
that is
the land of Danza.
That is what's going on. But I'm just a little shocked. I think what I expected in this game, if he had brought what I was saying I expected, I think he wins this game. You know, he would have been on a track to win those 10 turns ago or so. When I said I think he kind of has this game, but I didn't see those sets. I didn't see the plays that I wanted to see, and Khaz really capitalized in this late game, especially after that really poor start. I'm impressed that it takes a real player to last in a game this long and steal a victory from them. But he hasn't won yet, so we can't say that yet. Watch. Solic Berry Zeraora. Here it is.
Man, I swear, if this is no cap and that's what we have, I'm gonna cry of laughter. That'd be so funny. So let's see what this is gonna happen. What this is gonna go for. It has Volt Absorb. That's not gonna matter. As Dazzling Gleam is getting clicked, unless there's some sort of other move to go for. Probably not.
No, I think Dazzling Gleam is his best move. I don't think Koko gets any other coverage that hits super effectively. I just think the 120 base power after stab is probably your best bet. If he's a bulky Koko, there might be a chance that it doesn't 2-hit KO, but I'm willing to bet it probably does.
It looks like Khaz's internet has dropped again. Maybe Khaz is having thunder lightning problems too.
Honestly, wouldn't surprise me.
I was gonna say, up in Canada, we had a freaking tornado warning the other day. I was like, this does not happen in this part of town. Let's not have this.
Well, did you ever get the tornado?
No, the tornado didn't show up.
Nice. So Tornadus didn't visit you. That's good.
Yeah, no, tornado stayed away. Tapu Koko's raining its havoc. Yeah, electric terrain, IRL and in-game, you know.
Hey, that's literally what happened to me, so... I don't know if it was recorded on this video, but there was heavy thunder lightning out there, out this window. Like, literally opening a window. Oh my gosh. It's pouring right now. I hope that was in the audio. That would have made a good effect, because we are waiting and just having to stall for time right now. This is utter insanity.
It certainly was in the audio.
Is he trying to bore Khaz to death and make him forfeit? Like, that's a strategy.
He's boring me to death. I want to, like, come on, man. Let's make a play here.
I mean,
I'm sure Khaz will edit these, like, random rambling parts out.
And maybe it's Khaz
like,
that's taking
holy,
forever.
Plasma Fist.
There's that 2-hit KO.
Slap. 45, so it's a 2-hit KO. Life Orb.
Oh, that is a bulky
nothing. Oh, so it's Life Orb,
Scarf.
which means that...
He should have gone to this first! I'm telling you, that was a joke!
Well, this is also Life Orb Zero, which means that Deoxys-S will outspeed him.
He still should have gone to it first, though, just so it would have been a 2-hit KO.
So unfortunately, Danza, your dream. It looks like in the chat, Phine has conceded basically to Khaz, and unfortunately, we won't see any Salic nonsense here.
There is still a strategy. Khaz's internet dies.
Well, there is no timer right here, so that strat's not going to work out. We're going to see the Dazzling Kaleem here. And we're going to see a victory.
Let's be realistic here. If there is for some really stupid chance, Deoxys Speed does not have a fighting type move, and this is a bulky kyurem-black, he's going to have a fighting type move. Who am I kidding? We had a fighting type move.
You think Khaz isn't prepping for this spot?
In the LA Nido Kings FO, when
it
we
looks
went
like
versus kyurem-black. Yeah. So,
it looks like Jimmy Johns, of all the nicknames, to win it all, is going to take down the victory. And Khaz is going to win the league after all the memes for Khaz going 0-5 in the major PL, quitting because he was too bad, losing to Focus Boss Mamoswine is going to pull it out. You know, big victory for him. Phine, I think, played this very well. I'd be really interested to see what his thoughts on the mega-altaria play there.
Yeah,
I
think the beginning.
It'll be interesting to get
his
perspective on that, and it'll be interesting to see Khaz's early game perspective, because I think there were spots that both players maybe could have handled a little better, and with their context, I think it'll make a lot more sense.
I also think seeing the sets will help. I mean, maybe I think I had some high expectations for the types of sets I expected to see, and maybe I didn't actually see them. Like, maybe there was no Earthquake on Altaria. Maybe I don't know why personally. I think you probably should have had an Altaria to outspeed Heatran with Earthquake in this game, but maybe he saw something different.
For sure. Well, that's going to be the end of this video, guys. It was definitely a great final, definitely a game worthy to be of a finals. Congratulations to Khaz, your champion on this channel. He defends his own league very well, and thank you, Danza, for coming on and joining me today.
I'm happy to.
It's been a while since
buddy. Congratulations, Khaz. I'm proud of you.
It's been a while since we've kind of done this commentary thing together, so it's nice to get back to that.
Yeah.
You can check me out on twitch.tv/KeeganR_MTG. You can check out Danza at the Toku Minorities channel. He doesn't post as much anymore, but you can see some of his previous GBA content and maybe future content. I don't know, Danza, what your plans are.
Oh yeah, I'm taking a short break because first off, I actually just started a full-time job, and so I'm kind of focusing on that.
Don't flex on too many of the kids in the community.
No, I mean I'm going to just trying to get my bearings on how to go through all that. But I'm taking some short time off after the GBA. But I think within a month or so, I'll be putting stuff up regularly again. It probably won't be League format stuff, but it'll be something fun. Maybe Mario Party with Fog.
I was gonna say Mario Party's coming back.
Mario Party with Fog. Even though I don't even think you go by Fog anymore, and yet it's still gonna be Mario Party with Fog.
Well, that'll be what it is.
Shout out to the Foghorn channel.
Yeah, well, rest in peace, a good meme. So that one. All right, well, we'll see you guys later. Hopefully, we'll see you guys for the Lodge Season 2. Make sure to check out the rest of Khaz's content. Make sure to leave a like, comment, letting us know we were your favorite commentators this entire playoffs. And we will see you on our respective channels. Peace out.
Peace.